Hey guys, today we're going to be talking about lesson 91, which is decimal place value. We have talked about this so much. Knowing the place value is not what we are talking about today. So today we're going to be talking about being able to compare our place values. So let's just review real quick and talk about how this side of our decimal is the whole numbers, and this side of a decimal number is the part. Okay, so we know the first number after our decimal is the ones place. Then we have our tens place and our hundreds place. Well, when we move to the right side of our decimal, we don't have a ones place anymore. We skip straight to tenths. And it's not just the tens place like it is over here. We add that THS onto the back of it and it becomes our tenths place. So this becomes tenths, which stands for 1/10 of something. Then we have our hundredths, and remember that's spelled like regular hundred, and then add your THS, and that becomes your hundredths place. And then we just learned this one last week. We have our thousand. Remember, you spell it just regular thousand, and then add that THS to the end, and that stands for 1/1000th. Okay, knowing these and knowing how to write them and say them is not the problem. So the way we would say this number is 3, and our decimal says and, so we have 3 and we say this whole number together, 25, and then it's the 5 is in our hundredths place, so it would be 3 and 25 hundredths. Over here, we have 3 and 5 tenths. Okay, when we're comparing fractions, notice how this side is out of 100 and this side is out of 10. We know that we can add zeros, as many zeros as we need to the end. So we can change this 10 number to be out of 100 by adding a 0, because 5 tenths and 50 hundredths is the same thing. So now we know that 3 and 25 hundredths compared to 3 and 50 hundredths. So if we were going to talk about which one is larger, well, which one's bigger? They both have 3's as their whole numbers. So we're comparing 25 hundredths to 50 hundredths. If it was money, it's like having a quarter versus 50 cents. Which one do you have more money? It's the 50 cents because 50 is larger than 25. So we would make our comparison symbol go towards that side. Okay. Another way that you can do it, if I'm following down, I'm looking at lesson practice F now. I have 3.25, excuse me. I have 3.250, which is said 3 and 250, and it's in their thousands place, so 3 and 250 thousandths, compared to 3 and 25 hundredths. So we need to move it up to whichever one is larger. Thousandths is larger than hundredths, so we need to turn our hundredths into thousandths. So now I have 3 and 250 thousandths compared to 3 and 250 thousandths. 250 is the same as 250, so these would be equal. Use this to help you. You can always refer back to it if you need to. You can also look at your tenths place. I have a 2 here and I have a 5 here. 2 is less than 5, so we know that this side is going to be less than this side. Now, if our whole number is different from each other, and this one was a 6 and this one was a 4, 6 wholes and 200, it doesn't matter that the 250 thousandths is the same, because this one has 6 holes and this one has 4 holes, so we know that the 6 is larger. No matter what extras it has on it, 6 whole pieces of pizza is always going to be bigger than 4 whole pieces of pizza. So work on the lesson practice problems that we have not done. Have someone check over them. You can refer back to this. You can, and you'll find these in lessons number 1 through 30 in this lesson. And you can refer back to the lesson numbers that are in parentheses and always look in the glossary if you don't understand.